Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here, welcome back to the railway and welcome to the Sam's Trains 2023 Christmas model launch. This year's model is all about nostalgia. It's a nod to Christmases 100 years ago, before people had TVs and computers and they had to rely on physical spectacles to keep themselves entertained. It's also the most complex model I have ever created to sell, and it's been a nightmare to build and assemble these things, but I got it done and here it is. It is a classic style Santa's sleigh. And I always love Santa's sleighs. It's just one of the things I enjoy looking at Christmas time. I love seeing all of the different designs. And so this one has been a real pleasure to dream up and put together. And it's been a real passion project, hence why there is so much detail on this thing. The sleigh itself has got little separate lamps on the side. It's got all of the underframe on the bottom with separately fitted brake rigging. And it's even got a load of hand-painted presents which fit into the bay of the sleigh. These are available on Etsy right now and the links are in the description. They are extremely limited edition, so if you do miss out, I apologise, but obviously these are created at home right here in this room and assembled by hand by me, and so it's been impossible to make like thousands of these. There's only 125. And this model might look like something I've just made up, but actually it isn't, at least not entirely. So I found the wagon in this book, Historic Wagon Drawings in 4mm scale, and here it is, right here. This is described as an LNWR wagon used for carrying four-wheel coaches. But here, there's also a mention of these being used to move theatrical scenery about. And so the idea for my model is that a sleigh has been loaded onto one of these things to be taken to a Christmas parade or something like that. And based on what this book says, that is actually theoretically possible. I've no evidence that such a thing existed, but I don't think such a thing would be totally unrealistic. Now, if I'm being honest with you, these are a little bit expensive for my liking. They come in at £22.99 each, and I will explain a little bit later on why these have ended up being quite expensive. But obviously you can see there is a lot of parts on these things, and they do all come with a signed thank you card, which I also love. Look at the vintage effect I've managed to get on that. Yeah, I just love vintage Christmas stuff, so it's been so much fun to put these together. And I'll get back to this in just a second, but the next thing I want to talk about is the Sam's Trains mystery boxes, which are launching now and they're available on Etsy. So this came about because when I design a new model, I produce loads of different prototypes for testing purposes, and then when I produce the models to sell, I create lots of spares in case some of them break or need to be replaced. Well, it's the end of the year now and I've got boxes and boxes of models which I've kept back for one reason or another, and I've decided to have a clear out. So I've made 30 of these mystery boxes. They're going to be £20 each, and for your £20 you will get at least 2 complete models, and they are randomly selected from the following lot of models. So you could possibly get a resin printed luggage trolley, and these are fully painted as well. I've got a couple of pre-grouping coal wagons. These are also going into the mystery boxes. I've got the LNWR coach transporter with no sleigh. This is in the LNWR plum. I've got the resin southern 8-plank wagons, which are also painted. I've got some original Uncle Fredrickson prototypes. So these are the first models I ever made. Really, I didn't want to get rid of these things, but I haven't got the room, so out they go in the mystery boxes. I've got a couple, just a few spare Halloween coffin wagons with certificates. Those are going out as well. There's one pair of balancing coaches in the blue. I've only got one of these, so one lucky person will get that. I've got the world's smallest coach, just a couple of those left. This one's painted, the ones in the mystery boxes are not. There's also the pre-grouping van in the grey, a BR steel wagon in the grey, complete with accessories too, all of this stuff. I've got a few Gresley's rockets as well, and a selection of new buses. Obviously I didn't make these, but some of them are in the mystery boxes, some of them boxed, some of them not. So you'll get at least 2 of those complete models, but then you'll get between 5 and 10 other objects, and these are from the following selection. So I've got spare balancing bodies, which are going to be good for modelling projects. I've got a selection of spare chassis, which again you can use to make your own models if you want. Selected spare wagon bodies. I've also got some balancing pianos left, complete with the keyboards, and a few wagon bodies as well, so I'll pair these up where possible. Pumpkins! Last year's Christmas loads, that's the turkeys and the presents, and a few bodies for those as well. There's also some bits and pieces so that you can make your own fan-powered train. That's always fun to experiment with. I got some spare coffins, some bodies and chassis to go with the coffin wagons, various accessories packs so you'll get spare brake rigging and couplings and such. I've got reject sleighs from today's model and a few spare presents to go with those. And finally, some wagon bodies for the coach transporter. I got the standard version and also the sleigh version from today. So the mystery boxes are on Etsy now, links in the description, and if you order them with your sleighs, then of course you'll get a bit of a discount on postage. Not very many of these to sell, but if you want one and you act quickly, hopefully you'll be able to get one. Now then, why are these sleighs a little bit on the pricey side? Well, to show you what was involved in creating these models, I'm going to build a new one from scratch for you. So let's assume all of the parts have been created. They're laid out on the table now. As you can see, there is 30 parts to this thing, and I'm going to show you what I had to do to put them together. So the first thing I have to do is assemble the chassis and the body together. And to do this, I also need the NEM pockets. So let me move all this stuff out of the way. Now this is obviously a long wagon, so it's necessary for the NEM pockets to pivot. And I'm so happy with the design of these things. If I put this little cap onto the coupling and then push the coupling through this little hole in the chassis and home into the chassis, you've got a pivoting coupling, which once it's screwed down becomes super robust and lovely. I'm really happy with a good coupling design. So let me put these both in place and then I'll screw the chassis onto the body. So the body goes down and then the screws actually go through those couplings that I just showed you and into the body, and that's what holds the wagons together. And these need to be nice and tight. I've got blisters doing this just to make sure that the body and the chassis are well and truly married together. And there we go, now we've got ultra robust couplings. The couplings themselves obviously have to be assembled, so if I find them and the hooks, I'll put those together now. I guess they can go straight on the model, why not? So the hook has to fit onto here. Again, any faulty couplings have to be thrown out, and I've thrown a few of those, and then they go into the NEM pockets, although these couplings are going to be left for you guys to fit. So this is what you have to do, just put those in. Most of the assembly is done by me though. There's only a few accessories that I've left for you guys to fit, and that's not because I'm lazy or something, it's just because obviously they can make the models quite fragile, and I don't want to ship a model that's too fragile. So anyway, wheels are going in. Now I want to show you my axle box design because these are awesome. So let me stop them. I'm going to start the wheels spinning and we'll see how long they last. Here we go. Woo. Spinning, spinning. Which one's going to win? I think it'll be this one. Give this one a better spin. So they're not metal bearings or anything. They are literally 3D printed, but I got the shape just right this time. Still spinning. This one stopped. This one's still going. There we go, stopped. Not bad, I think. Right, so that is the wagon pretty much together. And now I'm going to move on to the sleigh. But obviously the sleigh is not painted, and these sleighs are painted. So I need to set up my spray booth, and I'll show you how I do these. So this is pretty cool. First things first, I got this tool, and the sleigh fits into this tool, and that keeps it nice and straight. Then I've got the sort of top mask which fits into the tool over the top of the sleigh, and just so that doesn't blow away when I turn my airbrush on, I'll just fix that in position with a couple of bits of blue tack. Then I can take my gorgeous aluminium or aluminum coloured Vallejo paint, which I love, it's such a great paint this is, and I can just spray that onto the sleigh. There we go, and then when I remove the mask, we've got a perfectly painted sleigh. Now, ordinarily, I would leave this to dry now, but because I'm doing a demo for you, I'm going to do the other side. And for that, I need a separate tool. So let me just set that up. So this second tool is a mirror image of the first tool, and the sleigh fits into that the other way. And then I've got a different top which goes on there. I guess I'll just, well, yeah, I'll just hold it in place and spray silver onto this side. There we go, another perfectly painted sleigh side. So I can take that out of the tool, and now I'll show you how I assemble these sleighs. The next interesting challenge is fixing these runners onto the base of the sleigh. Well, the first step is quite simple, and that's just super glue. So I apply a little bit of super glue onto the top of the runner like that, and then the runner itself fits into the base of the sleigh. And in goes the other one. But here's the thing, I hate relying on superglue to hold key components of models together. I hate it when the manufacturers do it, and so I never do it. That's why I use screws to hold my models together. But of course, how are you going to screw these runners on? Well, you can't. So my solution is to physically fuse the parts together here at the front. So this takes a little bit of care, but with a 200-degree soldering iron with a fresh tip, I can literally melt the front end of the runner and fuse it to the sleigh. And this will mean that the two parts will never come apart. You'll have to break the parts before they will separate. So there you go, those are fixed, and now I can mount this onto the rest of the wagon. So for the wagon, you see these little white spots where the screws have gone through. I need to take care of those. I don't like those being visible. So with the soldering iron, let's just melt those and they'll magically disappear. There we go, much better. And then on goes the sleigh, and there's holes in the bottom of this wagon to do this. Takes a little bit of guiding, and I might just need my screwdriver just to force this in and melt the plastic so that these parts are together forever. And obviously you should still treat these as though they are fragile, because that's kind of true. However, this will make a very, very strong connection. There we go. So now the sleigh is fixed and we're on the home straight. Now I just need to apply some of the details. My next job is to fit the brake handles here, and I figured that it would be better to ship these fitted to the model rather than as a separate part where they might get bent and damaged. So that's why I'm fitting these at the factory, so-called. And for this I'm using No Nails Unibond glue, which is awesome for this sort of thing. I wish the sort of pro manufacturers would use it, because it dries clear and you don't get any of that sort of distracting misting effect. So a little glue in each of the holes, and in the part goes. And obviously the glue is going to be visible for a bit, but it will disappear once dry. So I'll do the other side and then I'll show you the next step. So the next job was the presents. Now, me and Chloe painted these presents, and we did this over 2 days. It was very long and tedious, and we used metallic markers to do it. So each of these was done by hand. One problem that we did have was ink bleeding around the layer lines on some of the presents. So if some of the sides are a little bit imperfect, that's why. It's because they were done by hand. Apologies for that, but the tops of the presents, the parts that you can see, they are all fine. So I'm pleased with those. And these are supplied separately, but you can pop these into the sleigh if you want. And you've got a bit of choice as to where they go. So that's what they look like. And that is where I stop. If you want to finish off the model, there are a few other detail parts, such as buffers and the lamps for the sleigh. They are a cool little detail, and also the actual brakes themselves, which are those. So if we flip the sleigh upside down, what I'm going to do first is the brakes, and I'm going to do a bit of a test fit. So with some tweezers, I'm going to take the brake piece and try and put that into the hole. And these are a tight fit because they have to be precise, otherwise they'll touch the wheels. But there we go, that one fits in. So I'm going to take, I think, super glue this time and glue that in. Okay, very gently does it into the hole. And there we go, and then you just have to adjust them so that they're not touching the wheels, otherwise you've got your brakes applied, which is not good. Okay, there we go, not a significant part of the model, but a nice detail nevertheless. Then it comes to the buffers, so a little glue on each of the buffers, and they can be gently eased into the buffer holes. So the last parts are a little bit tricky. Those are the tiny lamps that go into the sleigh. It's definitely better to use tweezers for these, but you don't have to if you don't want. And same thing, a little bit of glue on the end of the peg that it fits on. And then into the sleigh it goes. And the more straightly you can do this, the better. And there's a little hole over here, so with a pin or a needle you can actually straighten it. There we go, and then I guess I'll re-add the presents, and now we can get this down onto the track, couple it up to something, and I'll show you how these run. So I'm doing a review style test on these sleighs to see how well they perform. I've picked out a loco. I've got the beautiful Bachmann compound. It just looks Christmassy, doesn't it? And it kind of matches the sleigh wagons as well. Now in terms of the weight, I wanted these wagons to be a little bit heavier than some of my other stuff. So I was aiming for about 30 grams and I got pretty close, 29 grams, so I'm quite happy with that. In terms of how free rolling these are, I am super happy with the bearing design this time. They really do roll fantastically, as good if not better than some professionally manufactured stuff, so that I'm really pleased with. Up next, what are the couplings like? Well, let's back up the compound and let's see for ourselves. Let's go. There we go. Yeah, seems to work nicely. Now let's show you their performance on the curves. So these are designed for second radius curves, and I've tested them extensively on second radius, and they are fine, as you're about to see. They also, Midland compound struggling on the curves, but not the wagons. I've also tested them on, on first radius curves. And on the whole, they're fine on first radius as well. They work perfect forwards. Over some combinations of first radius curves, you might get some buffer lock in reverse, and that's because of how close coupled these wagons are. But other than that, first radius, second radius and above should be absolutely fine. And yeah, this is exactly the sort of thing I was out to create. I just love the things. You can just imagine families in the early days of train sets running this around the Christmas tree, or in real life you can imagine these sleighs being delivered to parades and things by train. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how these turned out. Anyway, let's get them back to the front and let's try them over some points. Okay, here we go. Hopefully my special coupling design isn't going to let me down. Let's see what happens. Open the points. There we go. Reverse for the loco. Here goes. Yep. Seems good. And I just love these couplings, man. I know it's a bit insane to be so obsessed by couplings, but the way they spring back to the center, how robust they are, big fan. So there you have it. That is my Christmas model for 2023. And you've seen what's involved in building these things, and so that's why they are a little bit more expensive. And that's just the assembly, really. I haven't even gone into the design phase and the actual manufacturing of all these parts. It's taken a really long time, but I hope it was worth it, and I hope you will enjoy these models. And of course, if you do decide to buy one of these, thank you so much, because it really does help to support the channel and keep it alive. So if the channel is something you enjoy, if you do tune in from time to watch the videos and you like them, please consider picking up one of the sleighs or even one of the mystery boxes just to help it along, and I would really appreciate it. Please do bear in mind that these are homemade wagons. I've tried to make them as high quality as possible, but I can't change the fact that they are 3D printed here at home, and there will be minor defects such as layer lines and that kind of thing on the bodywork from time to time, so do bear that in mind. For now though, thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoy the wagons, and I'll see you again very soon for another video. Alright, cheers folks. You take care.